Okay, everyone, thank you for being here. I'm excited to talk through how we can help folks who are preparing to sell their business, considering noodling on what to do with an amazing business that they've created over many years and with lots of blood, sweat, and tears. Today, we're discussing how to know if you're ready to actually sell your business. In reality, the highest value exits are often built years in advance, but many owners don't think about how to even prepare to start because it's such a new concept. So I'm excited to have Rob, who's got decades of M&A experience and served multiple industries within the manufacturing, service-based business, uh, construction, asphalt, metal shop, all of the main ones. And then we have Tom, who has successfully ran his own business formally, sold it, and is now providing that M&A expertise to sellers as well. And then Chris, who was also a successful business owner, sold his business, and now Sam leads a lot of the buyer conversations and really just the transaction execution overall. So our team is here to just provide insights into the back end of what it actually looks like to sell a business when you're ready to make the move. But even years before that, the main question is, when do owners typically start thinking about selling? What usually triggers this conversation? Rob, do you want to start?
Sure. Um, Most common reason is you get old, and when you get old, your thinking changes a bit, and you're the owner of the business. You're responsible for a lot of people, your family, your employees' families, and you have to start making some plans. It's always best to, do it early, right? Because as Sam would say, you have your options if you're prepped, right? So certainly start early if you can. And that's just kind of the old guy thinking. And then unfortunately, there's the surprise, which we run into, unfortunately, more often than we'd like, where you have a health issue or family issue or something happens in your life where now you've got a hurry up on your hands. And there's plenty of sacrifices when you're running a little too hard and fast at the last minute. But so you can't start too soon and avoid the hurry up if you can.
That's great. That's great. And Tom, from your perspective, when did you first consider selling? What emotions or business realities influenced your decision?
Yeah, I had set a plan ahead of time that I was targeting like 40 years old to sell my company and kept building it with that in mind. But as I hit the 40-year-old mark, I decided I was still having some fun. I was still in the position of growing the business further. So I grew it to 4 locations, 64 employees. And then eventually you hit that time when at 20 years of running it, I hit the burnout. And that's a hard wall to hit. And I realized after in the process of going through the whole thing of selling it, I really should have targeted 15 years. But that's, looking backwards pretty easily. But looking forward, yeah, the emotions were there too about, the burnout. What was I leaving? Wanted to take care of my people and that sort of thing too. Just like every other seller wants to do as well. So, but finally got there, but should have never hit the stage of burnout.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, if you're having a good time, you're making money, you're running a great business, taking care of your people, it's hard not to, go full throttle if you can.
Right.
Sam, I'm curious, what do you see when you're typically, having these initial conversations with business owners? I know, there's the age component, there's the family matters, there's the burnout component. What are you seeing as you're talking to folks on a daily basis?
A lot of people approach the sale of their business with some pretty understandable fear. Um, Either they've just not considered the sale of their business for so long that it's a very daunting prospect. And so, in line with what Rob and Tom are saying, like the earlier you can get started, the better. And it allows you to be on your front foot from a negotiation standpoint. You have leverage if you don't have to sell. But if things are an emergency, and it's, hair is on fire, you're on your back foot and you don't have leverage anymore. So, if the goal is retirement or burnout is eating away at your soul and you decide it's time to sell the business, the earlier you're prepared, the better off you're going to be.
Fantastic. And then Chris, you sold your business actually with Western M&A. So I'm just curious, was there, thinking back now, would you say there was such a thing as maybe starting too early? What would you have done a little bit differently timing wise, knowing what you know now?
I actually don't think I would have changed a bit of the way I did this, especially with Western. I mean, getting with Western, that was just a blessing for me because they really walked me through this process like I had never been walked through before. And I had actually talked to other people before I had talked to Western, and they came on board and just really made this process real simple for this guy who was ready at the time to sell. And it wasn't because of any other reason other than the fact that I was just ready to sell. I can't give any other better description than that. So time wise, no, my time was perfect. The way it handled.
Yeah, that's great. Was there any one thing that you would say triggered you to, take the call and learn a bit more about how we work and what the process was?
My health.
Mm,
That was the big trigger for me. My health. I was commuting, 700 miles back and forth every week. Lived at my company, and my health had a little problem in the middle of the night, and I had to address that. And didn't have any family nearby, and all this, and you're kind of dealing with this, and it makes you remember that I wasn't 10 years old anymore. I was in my late 50s, and we forget, and I had forgotten, that's for sure. So um, everything happens for a reason, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you got the support you needed to make that exit,
Yes.
and focus on,
More than the support. I mean, it was a between Tom and Rob. It was like an experience that it would be the same that I would give my customers, a wonderful customer service experience.